All right, we're live.
And we're back again on a special episode of Closed Casket Podcast. Today we have the director of one of the best found footage movies to come out in probably 25 years, Frogman. Anthony Cousins, welcome to the show.
What's
What's
up?
up,
Thanks for
brother?
having me.
Nice to meet you, Ant.
Thanks for joining us, dude. So amazing. Frogman was amazing. I'm a big fan. Out of all the cryptids, you picked Frogman to base this found. Kudos to you because you took one of the most unknown out of all of them, and you were like, I'm gonna make my whole movie about it. What was the idea behind that?
We were actually working on a short film that my co-writer John was directing, and it was like a coast to coast inspired short that
Mhm.
also starred Nate that plays Dallas. And one of the things he like decorated this radio station with that we were shooting in was like a map of the U.S. with like cryptids in every state. So we were just like fucking around between takes and stuff and looking at it, and in Ohio was the Frogman holding his
Mm.
little wand, and we were like, "What is that?" Like, I mean, there's tons of them we had never heard of, but like that one really caught all of our attention. So we started like researching it on set and just like kind of became obsessed. And like right there was kind of the seed was planted of like, what if we made a movie that was just about Nate running around the woods trying to find this frogman with his wand. um and the rest is history from there. But yeah, it's kind of weird that it's a lesser known one,
Mhm.
because I'm constantly fielding uh a misunderstanding that we created Frogman. I think actually probably the majority of the people that see this movie think we made him up, and I have to like tell people like, no, this is like like people have seen this guy since 1955. Like he's been around a long time. And I'll tell people like, oh, we're going to Frogman Festival in Loveland, Ohio this year, and they're like, you have your own festival? What are you talking? Like I'm like, no, it's not me. I'm like, but on the flip side of that, it's great that we get to be kind of like the shepherds for this unknown cryptid that needs more attention, I think.
Well, yeah, there's so much, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster, all those. There's so much information about, and you don't hear a lot about Frogman. And then you guys come out with Frogman the movie. Now it's big. He's fucking huger than life now. He's right up there with Bigfoot.
He fucks.
He
Frogman
fucked.
fucks, dude.
Frogman fucks, dude.
That leads me into the next question. Do you in the sequel are you gonna have like a frogman orgy, kind of like humanoids from the deep inspired frogman orgy?
Would you like that?
I mean, I, kind of. That's what I'm expecting, but I
he's
always
he's a freak, dude.
yeah, a
He's
little
for
bit of a
Frogman
freak.
orgy.
3 minutes in, we're talking about frogman sex, but
The revolving.
it
um,
takes me back to like humanoids from the deep. You know the the humanoids, fucking on the beach, and then
oh
you
yeah.
know, probably one of the best endings. She's pregnant with a humanoid. I don't think they showed it, in the movie, but that's what I was expecting. I mean, you see the cover, and it's like he's searching for a wife.
You know what's
Maybe
funny is my co-writer John was so adamant, and like for a little bit I was on board, but like when we're running around the cave at the end of the movie, he was like, what if we just turn a corner and there's Frogman just like railing someone from behind?
Dude, yes, that would have been
And
amazing.
I was kind of on board for a little bit, and then I was just like, I don't think anyone really wants to see, at least in that movie. I was like, I don't think anyone wants to see that. And we told that story at a Q&A because someone asked a question similar to what you just asked, and like the whole crowd was like, oh yeah, bro, no, maybe it's best to just like leave the fucking in your mind, maybe. But I will say this. I worked on a movie called Grind that my friends made. That's also doing festivals right now. It's kind of fun. We're at the same Frogman Returns is playing a lot of the same festivals as Grind, and they had me make some like in-world videos for their movie. And if you want to see Frogman fuck, you should go see Grind.
okay.
Okay, so
That's all you gotta
look
say.
out for that. It's another a
Yeah.
horror comedy anthology. It's super fun. and you'll see Frogman fuck. I promise.
Beautiful.
Dude, I was blown away with the actual Frogman costume. That thing was fucking awesome, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
Who designed that?
My best friend and my longtime collaborator of like 15 years now, Ryan Shadley, and someone that we've started working with, Becky Ingram. They made that suit and all the practical effects you see in that movie. They're unbelievable. He's done all my effects for every project I've done, and they obviously came back and did the sequel. And I told them when we were making the first movie, I was like, look, we're shooting it on a high camera. Like it's gonna be 480p. Every time Frogman comes on screen, there's gonna be like glitches and shit. Like, don't go for broke on this one necessarily. Like do what you gotta do. There's gonna be a lot of forgiveness. And on the second one, I told them, look, we're gonna shoot on a digital camera. We're going for a different look, different vibe. It's still found footage, but there's a whole new reason that they're shooting. And there's not gonna be glitches. Like Frogman's a character. You're gonna see him real good this time. So we need a new suit. And I really cannot believe what they delivered. Like it's insane. It's so good.
So the first costume it's not silicone, right?
No, I mean, it's like mostly foam and like rubber, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it was just a whole lot of foam underneath, and they just slapped rubber on top of it, and we tore that thing to shreds because we made it for one person, but then like the production of the first movie was messy to say the least. We were figuring out how to make a movie. No, like it was my first feature, and a lot of people ended up having to get in that suit. So it got stretched out and torn out, and it went through the ringer. Whereas on this one, we got one stunt guy who's like an incredible just physical performer, because like Frogman needed to do a whole lot more in the sequel. And it was like, we need someone that can like really bring him to life. And this guy just fucking killed it. Tom Ringberg, who I've worked with before on the Scare Package movies. He played the killer too. But oh man, I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Is there anything
definitely
left
look
of the
forward. I
original
can't wait.
suit?
And yeah, with the new one, are you guys doing the same? Is it still like a rubber suit, or did you go more like silicone? How'd you do the second one compared to the first one?
I think it's pretty much the same
Mm.
approach. It's just we put a whole lot more detail into it. Maybe
Okay.
it might be the skin might be silicone this time around because it's much more textured. It's much more glossy, like it reads real wet every time you
Yeah.
see it. And it has like more malleability too, like the mouth moves and the eyes can move a little bit. It's like it comes to life a lot more than the first one.
Not sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick had a good question.
Oh, is there anything left of the suit? Because I know you just said how it was completely torn and destroyed. Do you still have
Mhm.
it in possession, or do you have to get rid of it?
The fursuit, the head definitely still exists. I think the whole thing still exists. It's just like that body is useless, I think, at this point. I think they still have it for some reason, but the body's useless. But the head's still up in the shop. The hands and the feet are still up in the shop. It's just like the paint's coming off of them. And
Mm.
I'm gonna do at some point, once the second movie is like, more like, this stuff's not so under wraps. I'll post some like side by side so you can just see, because I think it's hard when you watch the two movies separately, you might not realize like what an upgrade it is. And then when you see these heads side by side, it's like holy shit. Like when I first saw it, I was like, how are we ever okay with what we shot in the first movie?
Yeah.
Do you keep it protected in
Now,
something?
I big fan of both scare packages. How'd you get lucky enough to get on board with them films?
I was at Texas Frightmare with a short film I made, The Bloody Ballad of Squirt Reynolds, and that's where I met the Paper Street guys. I think they might have just been there hanging out. I don't know if what they were doing there, but I mean they came to the short film program. They saw Squirt and liked it a lot, so we ended up hanging out and like going out for dinner and stuff. And then a couple weeks late, I think it was just honestly like a couple weeks later, maybe no more than like a month or two, they called me up and they're like, "Yo, we're making this anthology." I don't think they even told me about the anthology when I met them. and they're like, we're short one director. Would you want to do a segment? So I was like, hell yeah. And I mean, I think we wrote that thing in like less than a week, and we're shooting it maybe a couple months later.
Wow.
That's pretty
So,
sick.
so how did you come from Scare Package to making your first feature? And then,
Um,
you know, on top of that, not only making your first feature, getting it on the shelves at Walmart, because that's where I found my copy. And
oh, dude.
just seeing the poster art, then you flip it back and it's Frogman, no description. I'm a huge physical buyer, and
Mm.
that was the selling point. So how did that all happen?
It's still crazy to me, honestly. Well, so the way we made the movie, John and I had written a few things together. I had a couple other scripts of my own that I was trying to get made. We have a feature length script for the Bloody Bell to Squirt Reynolds. So we are like trying to get other stuff made, and everything just kept starting and stopping, and like seemed like there was money, and then there wasn't. And I was just like, oh my God, it was like maybe 2 years of that. And
Wow.
I was like, I might never make a movie if I just don't do it. Like,
Mhm.
it's I'm sick of waiting on somebody to like give me permission to make a movie. So we were already writing Frogman, and I was just like, let's just make Frogman. Like, I'll put 20 grand on a credit card, and we can make the, like, if that's what we got to make this movie for, let's just make it. And so we started down that path, and then as we like got going, people saw what we were up to, like a couple of friends, and they had connections to money, and like then we actually just funded the movie and made it. So it was almost like, I think it's hard for someone to want to like build a train with you from scratch. But like if you already built the train and like the train's like kind of moving a little bit on the tracks, then people want to jump on, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So like that's kind of how the movie happened. As far as getting into Walmart, that is still so insanely surreal to me, because I don't know if a movie as low budget as our movie, or a movie that's like almost entirely shot on a high-8 camera, has ever been on a Walmart shelf. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But we teamed up with TerraVision, and TerraVision, made that beautiful box set for us, and that sold so well that they were like, let's try this in Walmart. It seems like the kind of thing that would, you know, that people would gravitate towards. So they got it into Walmart. That was all TerraVision. And they're partners on the second movie too. So there's going to be another crazy physical release whenever we get that ready. Probably
When are
next
you?
year.
Okay, so next year is your planned like release date?
I think I would hope that we do theatrical and we do streaming this year
Okay,
in
cool.
2026. I hope so. But physical definitely won't be until 2027.
Because the movie's done, right? It's and going through the festivals, getting reviews already. Um,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
how
We're
was
doing
it?
festivals right now, and we're having some exciting talks about doing like a road show, like a double feature road show.
Oh, cool.
That would just be, like hopefully in like every major city for the most part. So hopefully we do something like that, and then we're having some good conversations about where it's going to end up streaming too.
Oh, so I was just gonna ask you that. I was like, from all the, the good reviews from the first film, did, anybody reach out to you for streaming for the second one?
There's definitely more interest now. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is with the first movie, we did festivals, and the festival response was really great. But the offers that we were getting for the first movie were like, I mean, honestly, offensive. It was like crazy
Oh,
how low they were. And so we were like, this is nuts. Like, we could release the movie ourselves and we'd at least make this much. Like, why would we ever sell the movie for this low of a price? So that's what we
oh,
ended up doing, was self-releasing it. Um, but I mean, now like there's so much proof that we can point to of like, hey, people like this, like it did all right, so yeah, there's a lot more interest in the second movie. So I really hope it can get a wider reach than the first one did.
yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. What was your final budget for your first one?
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say,
Oh, okay.
but it was real low. It was under 100K.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, uh, the whole movie, it's a slow burn, the first two acts, but you're building this world, you're building these characters, and when a third act hits, it's like you go into hyperspeed,
Mhm.
and it just evolved into this mind-blowing movie. And I think that's where movies should be, at least, you know um and you could tell, it's low budget and done independently, just from the way it's shot. And the acting is fantastic. The two actors are, you know great actors. But yeah, it was one of those blind buys. You're in Walmart, you see a movie, and you pick it up and you watch it and you tell your friends about it, and now you're here on the show talking about it, making a sequel. I mean, it's fantastic, dude. So good job. That's what I want to say. Good job on making an awesome horror movie. And that's why we brought you on, because it takes some talent to make a movie, and I could just tell a lot of love went into the movie, just by watching it. So awesome job, dude.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm always happy to do this stuff because it's still, a couple years later, it still just means a lot that anybody cares. Because we were, the process of making the first movie was like over a couple of years, and by the time we were ready to release it, I was like, I don't know if anyone is gonna give a fuck about this. I'm not sure it's cool. Like it wasn't. I thought it was a cool idea for a movie, but by the end, I wasn't sure if it was cool anymore because I was just so desensitized to it. So, I mean, the fact that people like it and want a sequel and want to talk about it like means so much to all of us.
Yeah, see, we bring all these, people on to talk, and Drew and I are directors ourselves. Drew's a DP, I'm a writer director, so we love talking to people that's made independent horror movies. It's because it's very inspiring, like the stories and all the stuff that like we have to go to actually get a movie made.
Hmm.
It's just an awesome journey.
Yeah. And like I feel it helps out other people, because as easy as it is to make content nowadays, with
Mhm.
cameras being everywhere, I mean, all the ways, with your iPhone, you could literally shoot and edit right on your iPhone. But I feel a lot of people are just uninspired by
Hmm.
the horror stories of the film industry, and seeing a good story come from the industry. That's really what matters in like telling that story, and maybe that inspires the next Tarantino, the next Scorsese, or just normal guys like Zombie and Nick and I, who just love making movies because we feel like we should. And getting to talk to people about how they did it could
Hmm.
inspire someone else to do it. Pick up a camera and just make their own damn movie, which is awesome. And that's really all it takes. I mean, um, what are some of the challenges that you faced making a sequel to a movie you made?
Um,
Do you think it was easier this time?
in a lot of ways, it was. I mean, I think there was still pressure, but it was a different kind of pressure. Because the first one, I was like, I'd made a few short films, and the short films had done well and were well received. But I
Mhm.
mean, making a feature is like such a different thing. It's a totally different thing
Yeah.
than trying to make someone like a 10-minute short. And I really felt like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna find out if like this is really what I'm gonna try and do with the rest of my life or not. Like
Mhm.
I'm gonna find out if I'm actually good at this or not. So it was terrifying, and it was like a scary leap to take. So the second one, at least that was off. I was like, okay, I can do this, and like people are interested. But then there was the pressure of like following it up, trying to make something that the fans of the first movie would appreciate, but also trying to make something fresh. I mean, we didn't want to make the second movie again. We wanted to make something very different, that still like felt honest to like where that story should go next, but like just try something crazier and weirder. Um, so like I was kind of scared of what the reception would be for the second one. If they're like, "Whoa, that's too different."
Mhm.
But thankfully, people really like it so far. But I mean, the challenges I think were just trying to maintain the spirit of the first movie, like like do something new, but still feel connected to that first movie.
Yeah.
That was the big challenge. But I mean, to piggyback off what you were saying, I think this really is like, to me, the most exciting time to be an independent filmmaker since like the early 90s, I think. Like the playing field is like pretty level again. Like Hollywood is doing its own thing and it's not even sure what it's doing. It's really trying to figure out what works and what people want now.
Mhm.
And it's getting more diluted and more formulaic, and I think that's all like feeding this counterculture of people wanting something that really feels like handmade
Mm.
and feels like it's coming from like a fresh perspective, and like they're connecting to an artist behind something instead of a corporation, you know? So
Yeah.
I think anyone that wants to make a movie right now, I think there's never been a better time because it's never been cheaper to make a movie. It's never been easier to get it on a streaming platform and get people to be able to watch it. I mean, there's a million film festivals and new ones every year you can bring it to. Like, yeah, I think it's a really, really good time for people like us.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So after now, making two features, and I know you've made a lot of short films as well. Would you go back after, making features? Would you go back and make shorts again, or never, no more shorts?
No, I definitely would. I kind of back when I was doing shorts, I had this. Well, I mean, the one thing is, I got really addicted to going to film festivals, like especially the ones in the fall. Like, there's so many awesome horror film festivals in October, and I want to go to all of them. Like, they're so much fun. It's become such a part of my life. So I kind of made a commitment to myself to like make to release something every year, so that I had a reason to go to these film festivals, and I still want to stay true to that. So if a year goes by that I can't pull together another feature, I would happily make another short.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking to some people about being involved in like more anthologies too, and I mean, that's exciting to me, because a feature takes a long time, and sometimes I've got some super weird ideas that maybe aren't worth exploring for a whole 80, 90 minutes, but
Mhm.
they'd be fun for like 5 or 10.
Yeah. How long did it take you guys to film, Frogman?
Oh, it's a long story. It we shot for 10 days, and some of what we shot in those 10 days was the third act, which
Mm.
we realized didn't work at all. And so we like took a break and rewrote the third act and came back and reshot a bunch of stuff. Um, and then I moved to New Mexico from Minnesota where we shot. I moved to New Mexico after we shot that stuff and was editing, and like we found more, like I just the longer the post process went on, the more we realized like, oh, it could be better if we just got this. We should shoot this. We should shoot that. Like we kept coming up with ideas. So we ended up still shooting like over maybe a year and a half after that initial like principal photography. Um, and then we just hit a point where it was like, okay, I think the investors were like, yo, you got to wrap it up. We got to put this movie out.
Yeah.
Which was great. We really needed to hear that. So then we wrapped it up. But the second movie, personally, to make up for that for myself, I was like, we're shooting this in 10 days. This script is exactly what we want to shoot. There's not going to be any weird curveballs of like stuff that doesn't work in this time around.
Mm.
And we're going to try and premiere it at a festival this fall. And we shot in June of last year. So that was like
Oh, right
like
on.
a 4 month turnaround.
Hmm.
Because I just like I couldn't bear thinking of like living with a movie that long again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I haven't made a feature yet. I've done, three short films. I plan on working on it, but Drew's done two features. So it's cool because he's a very talented DP, so I can always like pick his brain,
Mhm.
going into my, because he's one of my best friends, so I can pick his brain, like going, into the process of writing one, because it's a totally different world. Short films, we're filming them in 3 days, 2 days.
Yeah.
In the feature, you're shooting over. You're not gonna have that much of a budget to shoot continuously.
Yeah.
So you gotta like break it up, like you just said. So
Thanks, Zombie, for calling me your best friend. I
yeah,
think Nick got a little fired up there, I think.
I said
But what's your camera choice that you like to shoot? Because I've seen you shot almost every project that you directed as well. And, um, coming from a DP standpoint, what's the kind of camera that you like to shoot on?
Man, this might be disappointing, but I'm really not a gearhead.
Oh, really?
So I don't really have a favorite camera. I'm definitely more interested in what lenses
Okay.
I have at my disposal to shoot on, because I think that to me that matters a lot more than what the camera is. I think lenses bring so much more character to the look to something than a camera
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say, like, we shot some of Frogman on a Black Magic 4K, 6K. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay.
I think it was the 6K. But then and even the high 8 stuff we were going to shoot on Black Magic, because I just heard like you might not be able to get on streaming services, and I heard all this like all these nightmare stories of if you shot on like analog um technology. But
Oh, yeah.
then, so I had a high camera on set day one of Frogman, and I just shot a little bit on it to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna get this for reference, so I know what we're trying to like, what kind of look we're going for in post.
Hmm.
And the way that camera acts, like the way you can zoom in and out, and the way the exposure fluctuates, like all those characteristics are something you could never like truly replicate, like as good as that camera is, if you were just going to try and do it in post. And also I was like, this is crazy, why would we waste all this time in post trying to make like 6K footage look like this,
Yeah.
and so like day one I realized, no, if it is supposed to be on if it's a part of the movie that's supposed to be on a high camera, and the high camera can handle what we're doing, we're just going to shoot it on the on the tape. um, so honestly, my favorite camera to shoot on is the high 8, because I just think it's so unique and has so much character to it. And I also love, I mean, I really love the look of like 8mm and 16mm. I just miss movies that look like movies, like
Yeah.
movies
yeah,
used to just effortlessly look so beautiful and cinematic. And now I just feel like most stuff looks like shit. And I get so excited when I see a movie that actually has some character to it, because it's sadly very rare now.
Yeah.
yeah. Now, when I was watching, I want to kind of get your. I know you're the director, so it's kind of biased, but I want to get your opinion on it. So when I was watching Frogman, obviously I seen a lot of Blair Witch Project, but I've also seen, me personally, seen a little bit of Evil Dead in it too. So I
Hmm,
just want to know what kind of like inspired you, like what movies inspired it.
interesting. Where do you see Evil Dead in the first one?
So like just the way it's shot and like the some of the quick movements, like when you see Frogman and like some of the like the broken up scenes, it just remind me of the Evil Dead for some reason.
Okay.
So I was like, this is like Blair Witch, the Blair Witch Project, Evil Dead like had a child, and it's Frogman.
Dude, that's really cool to hear, because I don't think I ever consciously thought about the Evil Dead while we were
Yeah.
shooting Frogman, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's definitely like my favorite horror movie of all time. And it's the movie I saw, I was like 13, 14. I saw the first Evil Dead, and I distinctly remember where I was and how I felt watching it, and thinking like, whoa, this was not made by Hollywood. Like, this wasn't made
Yeah.
by like professionals. This was made by friends. I could
Yeah.
like, you can feel it when you watch that movie, and like that changed everything for me, because I was like, I think I can make movies then if these guys could make this movie. Um, so Evil Dead's so important to me. I think it probably seeps into everything I do a little bit.
Yeah.
But I will say the second Frogman Returns, Evil Dead 2 was one of the key inspirations we talked about a lot.
Mm.
And like that's the kind of sequel we wanted to make. But for the first movie, it was Blair Witch, Willow Creek,
Mm.
and Digging Up the Marrow, because
Oh,
that's
fucking
Adam
awesome.
Green.
one of those. Yeah, that was a found footage movie that was like, whoa, it's really actually showing you the creatures, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like doing it really well, and like clearly like practical creatures too. So like that was one. I think John and I, we watched a double feature of Willow Creek and Digging Up the Marrow before we started writing Frogman, and then I watched the Blair Witch Project a countless amount of times while we were making the movie to remind myself what found footage is supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, because Blair Witch Project and Cannibal Holocaust are probably the two best found footage movies. I mean, those are like the ones that you hold up high, right?
Yeah, for sure. And have you guys seen the McPherson tape?
Mm-mm.
I haven't.
No.
That's one that's like lesser known. It came out in 1989, so it came out like 10 years before the Blair Witch Project, and
Oh no shit.
I I love it. It's I'm making another found footage creature feature this year, and that is my kind of key inspiration for this one because it's a
Yeah.
very different style than Blair Witch or Cannibal Holocaust, and I think it's really interesting. It feels in a lot of ways it feels like the most authentic to me.
Yeah, and just to backpack off what I said, I mean, obviously, like we just spoke about, you see a lot of Blair Witch, but also when I was watching, it's like the camera movements and some of like the shots, how it just clicked in my head, Evil Dead, and that's why I
Mhm.
had to ask you. I was like, did that have any kind of inspiration behind it? Because that's the first thing that popped in my head, other than the Blair Witch Project when watching it.
Yeah, I love that movie so much, and I mean, I'm working on
So
something I'm gonna shoot
subconsciously, it
that's.
was there.
I think so for sure.
Mhm.
It's always there. I'm writing something right now that I'm gonna shoot this summer, and Evil Dead is another. Like I keep referencing it. I think I just want to make an Evil Dead movie really bad.
Yeah, huh. There's two coming out this year. I think you missed your shot, and maybe next year, maybe.
I know. Hopefully they keep doing well, and they're like, yeah, let's make 3 a year. Maybe we let that Frogman guy make one.
Yeah. They did. They let the director of Last Stop from Yuma.
Yeah,
Yeah, Francis Galupi. He's directed one, and then I forgot who's directing the other one. But no, they don't come out the same year. They come out separate years, I think.
I think the other one's the guy that did. Was it called Infested? The French spider movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really excited
Sebastian
for both of
something.
those because
Yeah, same.
they're both like such different filmmakers. Like those are such different styles to be like, yeah, you should make a Evil Dead movie and you should make an Evil Dead movie. So I'm really excited about that.
Honestly, really surprised that they announced two so close together. Like
I
they
know.
never done that. It blows my mind.
It's really weird, but it's exciting because I
Mm,
don't know. I guess maybe they're trying to figure out what to do with that franchise, you know? And maybe they're like, it's just giving it to whoever we think has a cool new style and just let them do whatever they want. And that's what it kind of seems like because I mean, I can't think of any franchise that's ever done that. You know, like
mm,
what franchise has ever been like, we're gonna make two completely unrelated movies in our universe at the same time, you know?
yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they're up to.
Especially 2 years after was it Evil Dead Rise came out, right? The
Yeah.
Rise, yeah, two years ago that came out, yeah. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I wonder if it's a new formula because, like, I mean, you know, 28 years later, just had like back to back features come out, and
Hmm.
both of them were kind of like they were different. They were different than the original two, and they're so different from each other as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I just watched the Bone Temple, and the guy's dancing with the naked zombie, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? You know? So I wonder if we're gonna have like naked dancing zombies in Evil Dead Wrath
See,
or
Anthony, look,
or
I'm
he
in.
likes creatures. He likes creatures that fuck, but he don't like
Uh-huh.
dancing naked zombies. So,
no.
yeah.
Everyone's
as you
got their
guys were
limits.
creaming over Evil Dead, I was just shaking my head. I'm like, should I say I don't like the Evil Dead? I mean,
He hates Evil Dead.
I
I
appreciate it,
can't believe it. But
but it's
Evil
not.
Dead. I love Evil Dead, and I fucking we were talking about this pre-show. I hold Fulci is one of my favorite directors,
I
Ah.
hate
and he hates him.
I hate Fulci movies. I mean, zombies all right, but I mean, for the most part, I'm just not a Fulci fan. You know, like he changes his name to Zombie because of Fulci. Honestly, like I don't know what the fuck's wrong with him, but you
Did
know,
Fulci do the New York Ripper?
yep,
Fuck yeah, he did.
that's his
That's
favorite
Dude.
fucking movie.
that's one of. So it was funny because was it a year ago or 2 years ago, Drew? I went months digging into who has the rights to the New York Ripper. I wanted to remake it. I'm like, I'll do anything. I'll pay whatever I gotta pay. You know, I fucking had a treatment. I'm like, I want to remake the New York Ripper, and I'm still looking for who has the rights. I got a couple bites, but no emails back or anything. So kind of,
Wow.
struck out.
Good luck. We need more New York Ripper. I want
I
more of
fucking love the New
that
York
duck
Ripper.
killer.
Thank you.
Oh my god, he watches it once a month at least, probably once a week.
It's
I'm not
awesome.
even joking.
It's one of the best like opening 5 minutes ever.
Yeah, like it's Fulci's slasher. It's fucking fantastic.
I love the gore. You know,
Mm.
I don't know. There's something about them that I just can't get into. But moving on from Fulci now. Thanks for bringing that up, Zombie. But yeah. So what are some of your favorite movies that you've that inspired you to get into filmmaking? Besides
Good.
Evil Dead, I know we talked about that enough.
Yeah. I think it was like Evil Dead and Clerks were the two that I saw like kind of
Ooh, look at my
around the same
guy.
time that I was like, wow, I think anyone can make a movie. But The Fly, that's like my favorite movie of all time, the Cronenberg one. Hellraiser, I think that's arguably one of the best horror movies of all time. It just makes me feel like I need a shower afterwards. It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
The 1980s Blob, it's like some of the best practical effects of all time. The Thing, obviously. Yeah. Titanic.
Oh,
Dude, I love
fucking best movie. That's
Probably
that's
like
the movie, dude.
probably was she a whore?
I don't what?
Was Rose in Titanic a whore, a tramp? How?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Was
I,
she? I think she
I'm
was just
team
going through some stuff.
I'm team Cal anyway. I think she broke
Oh
his.
wow.
Yeah, I don't think he was that bad of a guy. If you go back and watching it, um, Cal was he just loved her. I mean, yeah, he was a rich asshole, but I mean, to each their own, I guess. But
Dude,
This is one of
Jack
the
treated her
hottest takes
better.
I've ever heard.
yeah,
This is a
she
piping
fucked
hot
up.
take.
She fucked a bum in third class. Like, come on, dude. But and then she let him drown. I don't know. I don't like Rose. I'm not Team Rose. I love the movie.
Wow.
I love Titanic. I think it's one of probably the greatest uh, cinematic motion picture we've ever had.
100%.
Practical effects are just. It doesn't happen like that no more.
Love that. I love that you have like the craziest, hottest take I've ever heard about Titanic, and you still love it. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I,
I think it's like honestly, I think it's the greatest movie ever made. I think you could show that to someone from 1940 or from the year it came out, or someone now, or someone 30 years from now, and like it just works. That movie has everything you could ever want in a movie, and it holds up. It still looks so good.
yeah.
Yeah. We're totally team Fabrizio. Like, I would fucking love that.
Oh,
Fabrizio.
Fabrizio, yeah, everyone's team Fabrizio,
Fabrizio.
or you can go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, Fabrizio fucking rocks, dude.
There's Nathan this way. I fucking love that.
I'll never forget you. I say that all the time, and if someone knows what I'm quoting, I'm like, all right, we're cool.
That's
I like
amazing.
how Evil Dead, Clerks, those are inspiration because those I think those movies were meant to inspire, especially Clerks. Clerks
Yeah.
is fucking fantastic. That whole
Yeah.
story. There's a documentary on I think it's on Prime about Clerks, and dude, it fucking makes me want to cry. Honestly, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I love Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith fired all the '90s kids.
Hey,
So
dude, everybody,
Clerks 3. I'll
everybody.
go to bat for Clerks 3 too, because like I get it. It's not that great of a movie, and in comparison to the other ones or the other stuff he's made, but like as a filmmaker, that movie cut to the core of me. It was just like so true to like the experience of not thinking you can do something or not having the resources to do it and just being like, let's just fucking do it anyways. Like that, I cried through that movie.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'll say it. I'll say it live. Clerks 3 made me bawl my eyes out. That
Yeah.
the ending of that movie, I cry like a little baby.
I think if you've ever tried to make a movie, it probably will get you like that. Maybe not
Yeah,
everybody,
when
but
when he has the casket there and he's like quoting him and he's like, "You're not even supposed to be here today," and then the music comes, dude. Fucking
yeah.
waterfalls, bro. I shut it off.
Yeah.
One
I'm
Cut of the Dead.
sitting by myself, crying, watching Clerks 3.
Yeah, One Cut of the Dead does that to me too, and like that also like really surprised me. But I mean, again, if you've ever gone through the hell of making a movie, like by the end of that movie, I was in tears, and I was like, "What's happening?"
What the fuck is going on right now? Yeah, and honestly, one of my favorite. I get shit for this all the time too, but one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies, aside from Clerks, Chasing Amy. I fucking love Chasing Amy.
Great, yeah, great movie. There's a Chasing Amy reference in Frogman 2. Look out for it.
Is there?
Yeah.
Look at you. Look, we have a lot of stuff in common.
Yeah, I mean, if you were raised on those movies, it's hard to get those influences out of you, you know?
Yeah, 100%. You're right. So after everything, after Frogman 2's done, do you have actually? Let me ask you my question. I like to ask everybody. Filmmakers. Do you have a dream project that you'd love to do aside from Evil Dead?
Besides Evil Dead, I'd love to make a Hellraiser movie. I've got some personal like original scripts that I would love to make, but like the dream project, if someone was like, here's however much money you want, make whatever movie you want, I'd want to make a BioShock movie.
Ooh, that's a totally different one. I wasn't expecting that. Bioshock
Yeah.
Fox, dude.
That's my favorite game of all time, and I think it's insane to me that no one has pulled the trigger on making a movie out of that yet, and I would fucking love to do that.
Uh,
I want to walk around Rapture, that's all.
Same thing. I'm a gamer as well, and Gears of War. I love Gears of War, and no one's made a Gears of War movie. Like, what the fuck? It's
That's also
insane.
crazy. And Dave
Insane.
Bautista is getting older every year. Like you're missing your chance to do it right.
Mhm.
A Gears of War movie would fucking break the. It would make so much money.
Yeah.
It has that. It's not like a small fan base. It has a wide fan base, and it would draw everybody because it's such a
Yeah.
fucking cool game.
Dude, that 15 years ago and Halo,
Oh,
it's
dude,
like they dragged their feet for too long. I mean, they made a Halo show and nobody
yeah,
cared because like
too long.
you missed it. You missed when everyone was excited about it. And it's just crazy. Like just fucking I don't know, just do it when it counts, you know?
I don't like. I've been saying this for years. I don't understand why someone has not made a Gears film yet. Like, what could be the holdup?
I don't know.
Probably script. Yeah, because you have the gamers. I mean, they bitch about every movie that's based on a video game. I think they just put these video games on pedestals, and it's mostly nostalgia. But it's probably a script. Because like you guys were saying. I mean, even the Fallout show isn't that great. And maybe that's 10 years past its prime. Yeah. So I think just finding the right script and then finding you know the budget because it's not going to be some 2 million $3 million movie. It's going to
Yeah.
be 50, 60, maybe even $100 million depending on who's funding it, who's making it, and who plays Snake.
The
That's the right name.
budget, yeah. The
No, it's
budget's
not.
for
It's not the
sure.
same game.
I know
But
it's not. Yeah.
it's you might be right about that. It might be a lot of politics of there's a lot of people that have to agree on what the movie should be,
Yeah.
and that might just hold things up to the point that because they've tried to make Halo movies and Gears of War movies and BioShock movies for decades now, and I think they just all fall apart because there's just too many opinions getting thrown around. They can't get on the same page, maybe.
Yeah.
So more recent directors, who do you think has come a long way recently? I think Robert Eggers is probably one of the best directors right now.
Yeah, he's incredible. Who else? I mean, I love seeing what what Brandon Cronenberg is up to. God, I can't remember this guy's name, but he did Sick of Myself a few years ago, and then he did the Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage a couple years ago.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I
And
forget.
I just yesterday went and saw his new movie, The Drama. I fucking love this guy. His stuff is so good. Those are his 3 features he's got, and like he's 3 for 3 for me right now. I love all 3 of them.
What's the weapons director's name? It's right on the tip of my fucking tongue.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Zach
Zach
Kreger.
Kreger, yeah.
Kreger, yeah, because he's doing right. He's doing. Or is it done? Is Evil Dead? Not Evil Dead.
Resident Evil.
Is that done?
Yeah, I think it's shot at. I'm pretty sure it comes out either this fall or next year.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
And I heard he put out a post. He's kind of nervous. He's like, I don't know, because everybody that's we ever made a Resident Evil game, they kind of picked it apart. And he's like, I think he's gonna do fine. He's a great director. So
Yeah, I'm excited to see
Yeah,
what he does.
they're
I mean,
just
he
judges
also
who-
said that he's not following any of the games too. So
yeah,
you're gonna piss somebody off.
always you can never not piss somebody off.
Yeah.
He might
Yeah.
knock it out of the park. I mean, he's a fine director so far.
Weapons is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think he knows how to make a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
is it gonna be a good Resident Evil movie? I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be good.
I don't think that's the thing. People bitch about anything. People don't go out of their way to make bad stuff. It's not what they do. But everybody has opinions, and
Yeah.
there'll probably be tons of people that love it, tons of people that don't like it. It is what it is.
Hmm.
I don't think there's a such thing as a bad movie. I mean, there's something to take from every single movie that you watch. I mean,
Yeah, there's no such thing as a bad movie,
yeah.
in my opinion. But like I said, Weapons was fucking fantastic. Weapons did so good that they're gonna make an Aunt Gladys or what prequel? Is it gonna be a
Yeah.
prequel? Probably a prequel, yeah.
Yeah, and an Oscar winner too.
Oscar, yeah.
I mean, who the fuck cares about the Oscars anymore? But it was a good year for horror, at least. I mean, Sinners kind of sucked, but whatever. It is what it is.
You don't
But,
like Sinners.
I didn't care for it. Whatever. Good
I
for
seen
them.
I seen a list. It was like people were, top 10 vampire movies, and Sinners was number 1. So there's no fucking way Sinners is the best vampire movie you've ever seen in your life. That's bullshit. It can't
I
be.
mean-
There's
Better than
I'll-
Lost Boys?
no fucking way better than Lost Boys. No way. No way. I think the Sinners. I like Sinners, but Sinners remind me of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a little bit of that in it. I'd take
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn over Sinners too. I like Sinners a lot. It started to lose me in the 3rd act because it just
hmm
I don't know. It was doing so much. It was like a 5 out of 5 for me until the vampires got in that barn, and then not so much. I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was shot fucking fantastic.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
The actors and actresses in it, fucking what's his name? Won
Michael
the
B.
Oscar.
Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, fantastic fucking job he did.
Yeah.
And there was just some parts in that movie that kind of lost me, and I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Like there was just so much going on, and then I was like, oh, I didn't hate it.
I do think it was. I think it's like one of the best uses of vampires I've ever seen. Like as an appropriation, like metaphor. I thought that was brilliant because it's already baked into vampire lore that they bite you and then you become, or not all vampire lore, but usually it's like when you're sired by a vampire, you are like now they're a slave and you like take to that hive mind a little bit.
Yeah,
And you like take on the traits of whoever bit you, and so like the fact that they're just like biting people, they're like, oh, you're talented at this, you're talented at that. I want that, so I'm gonna turn you into one of us. Like, I thought that was a really brilliant like analogy for appropriation.
yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, dude, listen, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to do the show with us and just sit and talk and bullshit with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
It was great talking to you. I mean, reaching out to directors for the show and trying to get inside information. I mean, it's not too easy. Sometimes you're just either left unread or someone's like, how many followers do you guys have? It's like, all right, you know, fuck you, that buddy. But you know, you answered, and you know, you were excited to be on the show. We're excited to hear some of the behind the scenes horror, you know, stories from Frogman and past projects. So
And our shows do pretty well.
they're all right too. You know, they're you know, the view count is good. I mean, for not putting any kind of money into it, which is, you know, something we're just doing, you know, and this is episode 8, right? I believe
7 or 8? 7 or 8,
7,
yeah.
8, maybe 9. So
I
Definitely
think
not
it's
9.
7.
is it 7? Oh wow.
No, whatever. Continue.
I don't even know. But yeah, thanks for, you know, coming on and, you know, spending some time with our, you know, our friends and family that are watching. So
Yeah.
good job. I wish you the best of luck on Frogman 2. I can't wait for it to come out, and I'll definitely be following up with you on it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, anytime. I love talking movies, so I'm never gonna say no to that.
Perfect.